Everybody is getting settled in. So as folks are joining, I will go ahead and welcome everyone to the new format of Clinical Research Connections. Thank you for joining us for this forum. Under the new iteration for Clinical Research Connections, this is going to be a place for essential research resources and representatives to share brief and important updates with our CU research community. So we're going to ask that our announcers keep their updates to 5 minutes. Make sure to introduce yourselves. And to make the best use of the time, we will go ahead and jump right into announcements, starting with a quick note from me at the top. The CU Anschutz State of Research address is now posted online. You can find the recording at the link in the chat that Ben just shared. And I will now turn it over to John Heldens at COMIRB.
Welcome, everyone. I'm John Heldens. I am the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Human Research Protections over COMIRB and our Quality Assurance team and our IRB Reliance team as well. Quick announcements. We are building up our IRB Reliance team. That's headed up by Christy Williamson. The IRB Reliance team will handle, going forward, external IRB requests for Reliance, but also the internal, where COMIRB is serving as the single IRB. That last piece will take a number of months to get into place, but we are hiring 2 additional FTEs. One will start in February and the other one hopefully soon after. So I think you'll see faster service and a little more consistent service in those regards, and we can become a little more efficient internally. Other things we're working on, we are going to be posting new consent form templates very shortly. They're not majorly changed, but there's they look a lot cleaner. We've updated the forms. For our main consent form, we've included key information outlines and instructions on how to write that on the first page and a half of the consent. We've also included new wording about data sharing, not HIPAA, but just data sharing, like in publications or NIH data sharing policy, so we can be sure that subjects are informed that the data don't just stay here, they're going to be shared pretty broadly. And new instructions, and hopefully you'll find them clear. We're also including a brand new consent form for studies only doing tissue banking or sample collection, because that's been a problem in the past. So yeah, I'll stop there.
Thank you so much, John. I will now turn it over to Kat Sutherland over at the Clinical Research Administration offices.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Kat Sutherland. I am the director of the Clinical Research Administration office. So our news for the day is we are moving Encore into the cloud. So there will be changes to the login process for users, and we will have updated instructions and guidance coming to you in upcoming weeks. So keep an eye on your Encore newsletter and our website for details. And also, starting tomorrow, we are looking at the HSR portal as part of a QI project. We are looking to refine the portal as it is and include additional portals that are out there within our system. And that's my news.
Excellent. Thank you, Kat. I'll hand it over to Alison Lakin now for any updates from regulatory compliance.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Alison Lakin. I'm the Associate Vice Chancellor for Regulatory Compliance. So all of the compliance groups that are non-finance generally report up to me. Just a reminder, we seem to have been having a number of FDA inspections. So can you please, if you know you're going to be inspected if you're notified by the FDA you're going to be inspected, can you reach out to me to let me know? And usually the IRB, so whether that is John for COMIRB or Christy for the external IRB, if you could just let us know. I like to come to the exit interviews just because there are sometimes some systematic issues that are not specific to the study that is good to work on together. And the letter that you send is also coming from the university, so happy to guide on what should be in the letter. Sometimes people react emotionally, and it's nice to have somebody else look at those letters before they go out, just to make sure that they're just addressing the issues that arise. We also, and it's just for very limited studies, but if you're doing any CAR-T research or TILS research, oncology or non-oncology, when you submit to the portal, we will be reaching out for additional information. Part of that is for tracking, and it's for investigator-initiated studies, but also for industry-sponsored studies. There's just a resource limitation and a learning curve on doing CAR-T research that we're finding there's value in having some central oversight, and we are going to be having closer safety monitoring on those. So Matt Steinbeis will be reaching out when you submit, so please work with him on getting that additional information. We're also in the process of revising our fetal tissue policy, so I will let you know when that comes out. But in the meantime, if you are doing any research, and that's again animal bench or clinical, with fetal tissue or collection of fetal tissue, make sure you're connecting with either COMIRB or me, just to make sure that we're all aligned in how you're going to be doing this. And when we're talking fetal tissue, we're not talking cord blood or placenta. We're talking actual collection of tissue for research purposes. I think that's everything I have.
Thank you, Alison. Ben Echalier from Clinical Research Operations and Services, you are up next.
Thanks, Erin. I'm Ben Echalier. I'm the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Clinical Research Operations. As Erin said, I oversee the Clinical Research Operations and Services Office, which includes CRES, the IND office, the recruitment program, workforce development program, and novel clinical trials. We have a few, seeing as everyone's going so fast, I'll add one that I so first of all, the Clinical Research Workforce Development Program survey is out. The last time we did this was 2 years ago. Haley just put a link in the chat. We extended the period that it was open through next Monday. I know a lot of you probably have already taken it, but those of you that manage teams or have direct reports, if you can remind your teams to take the survey, we would really value your input. We did review and make some changes based on the feedback we got 2 years ago, and this is super important for us as we think about how to best support the clinical research professionals. The other thing that the workforce development team has upcoming is a roundtable. We have not nailed down the date. We are actually mixing it up a little bit this time, and we're planning to offer both a virtual and an in-person roundtable, duplicative. They'd be the same content. We've gotten some feedback from the community that there are people who would love to attend and get the information from the roundtable, but can't attend in person because they're off-site. And so we're gonna pilot that. Please make sure that you do register once the registration is open so that we can make sure that there is interest in both the virtual and the in-person. And so that will be announced on the teams and our website and probably through an announcement, but it should be probably later in February or early March when that will be scheduled. The other thing that we have going on is the quarterly workshop for the Clinical Research Recruitment Program, which is led by Kylie Vanderweist. They have their quarterly workshop on February 19th from noon to 1. It is virtual, and they're going to focus on the use of social media for recruitment purposes. The other thing, just a reminder, the recruitment program is open and they do offer consults for recruitment planning. They also offer social media assistance and can help you get set up with meta advertising. And then they are also in the process of improving the Research Studies website through a Improvement Academy project. And so the Research Studies website will be relaunched and improved within the next quarter. So look for more announcements about those things. And then lastly, just real briefly, just wanted to remind people if they need short-term fee for service, clinical research coordination, budgeting help, anything related to kind of study team activities. If you have somebody going out on maternity leave or a break between employees, reach out to CREST and they can help you with those things. And then another reminder that the IND and IDE office is now responsible for all communications to the FDA for academic IIT INDs and IDEs. So if you're planning on starting a study that needs to communicate with the FDA and is under an IND or an IDE, please reach out to the IND office. And that's it. Back to you, Erin.
Thank you so much, Ben. And then I'm just gonna, once I hand it off to the next announcer, I'll make sure to put that link for the IND IDE office in the chat. And without further ado, I will tag in Avery McGuire to talk about HIPAA and privacy.
Thank you, Erin. My name is Avery McGuire. I'm one of the privacy analysts over in the Office of Privacy. The main announcement is that the HIPAA training course that needs to be completed annually is coming up. You'll start getting notifications of that sometime in the coming weeks. The course is just accessible through Percipio. It takes 30 minutes to complete. You can do it in more than one session if you need to, but is something that does need to be completed by anyone working in a healthcare designated unit once per fiscal year. So that will be coming up. Please let us know if you have any questions or concerns. Outside of that, the main thing that we wanted to flag is that over the last calendar year, we did see a rise in incidents tied to emails, mostly just situations where the wrong person was CC'd or the wrong attachment got sent out related to any number of studies. The general rule of thumb with these that we want to stress is just to slow down. Like whenever you're sending any emails that have PHI or anyone on your team is, say, reaching out to a participant or anything like that, take the extra couple minutes to make sure that everything that's in that email is only and specifically what is intended to be in that. And you can avoid yourself some headaches and stress along the way. And obviously, if anything comes up that you're uncertain of, or if you know or believe that a privacy incident occurred, or even if you just have some questions, reach out to our team. And we're all nice. We'll be happy to help. And I believe that's everything on our end for now.
All right. Thank you so much, Avery. And then finally, Erin Sandene, I will let you give some announcements about Children's Hospital.
Thanks, Erin. Appreciate it. My slide deck isn't working, so I apologize to everyone on the call, and I will do a little bit more of an in-depth presentation on the April meeting. But for now, just to reorient everyone, Children's is working always in partnership with CU when we're doing our work. We have a huge team over here under the CCHRI. It's not necessarily everyone who's doing research at Children's, but the bulk of it kind of lives under our umbrella purview. But we're constantly in meetings and interfacing with CU. And so please let us know how we can serve you. If you're doing any work at Children's in any capacity, whether it's just data, retrospective reviews, you need to get in contact to make sure that you have the correct access and the correct training. We've done a ton of work on developing an education core over the last 2.5 years, and there's different components that people need signed off and training to be able to do work here. It also allows us, once we know that you're coming and doing work here, to give you the appropriate access and the guidelines of which to document and do your work. So you can engage myself. I'm one of 3 directors in the team. There's myself, Erin Mobley, who is in charge of CCHRI operations and our cancer and blood disorders. And then my other co-director is Eric Brewington, and he deals with more of the business side. And happy to meet with anyone. We do new investigator meetings all the time. And we also, I don't know if in the previous meetings, Abigail has been acknowledged. There's a liaison that works between CU and CCHRI. Her name's Abigail Pentecost, and she's a great connection between people that are actually CU employees, but their work is being done at Children's in any capacity. And so happy to get you always to the right person between myself, Erin, and Eric, and or reaching out to Abigail to let her connect you. We've done a ton of work within our research metrics and startup. And so excited for the year, and just thanks for inviting us, and we're glad to be part of the meeting. Happy to answer any questions.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions for any of our announcers before we wrap up?
I actually have a question. Avery, can I have access to that HIPAA module, or how do I get access? Because that's something we are always struggling with, and I just didn't know if that was something that we can review. We always are needing to do education, and it would be great to partner there.
Yeah, I believe that there may be some kind of agreement that was in place before my time. I'll send you an email after I connect with Lori Hopper, who was here when a lot of that was discussed, and figure out what may already be in place, and if not, what we may be able to make happen.
Okay, thanks.
All right, well, we will go ahead and wrap up for the day. Thank you so much to our announcers for sharing your updates and and to the clinical research community members for joining today. Everyone, please make sure to get on your calendars the next clinical research connections. It is going to be occurring on Tuesday, April 15th. At 12:15 p.m. From now on, these are going to be occurring quarterly on third Tuesdays of the month. So we'll see you again April 15th, July 15th, and October 21st at the same time. And so without further ado, we'll go ahead and wrap up and give everybody a little time in their day back. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining.
Thank you.
Oops.
Thanks, everyone.